Namaste. Today I'm going to show you how I do something that I really hate, because sometimes you have to do things that you really not care for. For me, it's doing power poses, strength poses, because my core muscles are very, very weak. I had a herniated disc in my lower back, and then I had an operation. I had my uterus removed some years ago. So that means my entire core is very, very weak. And it's very difficult for me to engage it all. And it takes a lot of power for me, also mental strength. It's not only the physical part of it, it's also because I'm afraid to have a pain in my lower back again. And as I've always said, that if you are afraid of something, if your brain says, I can't do this, then you can't do it. So now I'm going to show you how you can actually work with these poses that are strength poses, also when you are not as strong as you would like to be. The first pose we're going to do is a warrior. You go out into a broad, toes on your right foot goes towards the short end of the mat. Your left foot is parallel to the short end of the mat. Perfect. And then you have this feeling that, okay, how do I stand here? Do I kind of cave in? No, you make sure that your hips are straight. You make your belly strong. Your tailbone pushes under so that you feel that you get a little bit of length in your lower back. Perfect. And then you push the chest away from you so that you actually stand like this. So on an inhalation, you push your chest upwards so that you can feel your heart moving upwards. Imagine again that your heart is a flower that's seeking the sun. And on an out breath, you bend in over your knee, your front knee, in this case my right knee. I make sure here that I can see the toes, because if I go further out, I have a risk of going into the knee instead, and that is not good. Then I make sure that my shoulders are rolled back, my upper arms, the elbows, the inner part of my elbows, the inner part of my arms, I can do like this first. And then when I feel safe, I can turn my hands. Here I make sure that my entire mid is now engaged. I have a feeling that my thighs are moving. I try to move my thighs towards each other, and I feel the entire strength here on my lower stomach. My chest is still pushing upwards. Stay for a couple of breaths. Perfect. And feel how your entire mid, that you feel as if you have a mid in from the chest, your heart, so that you can feel the entire power coming from the ground up towards your entire body. And then slowly come back. And then you turn your left foot, toes towards the mat, and the other foot went parallel with the smaller part of the mat. Perfect. I'm just going to do this so that you can see how I work from behind. So now I'm going to be going out here with my left foot. My right foot is parallel to the mat. And then I have this feeling that my tailbone moves under, so that I get a little bit prolongation of my lower back. My shoulder blades, I move them towards my butt. My upper arms, I turn them outwards. Perfect. And then I turn my hands and take care that my knee is not further out than my toes. And then I have this feeling that my entire energy level, I kind of suck all the energy in towards the midst of my body. My belly is strong, my chest is strong. Perfect. And then stay there for a couple of breaths. Yes, good. And then you come back and slowly come back to the mid. And then I do what I call Elvis legs. Or because when you do that, lift your heels away from the floor, and then you just kind of make all your muscle, all your bones, all your joints in your lower back, they kind of move, so everything moves into space. That's a very powerful pose for you, so it really makes you also focus on where is my mid. Can I actually feel the mid of my body? When I come from a standing to a sitting down, I always come from here. On an inhale, I make myself really long. Exhale, out. And on an inhale again, I make myself longer. My entire upper body, I make it as long as I can. You can bend your knees as far as you want. You can also just lean on your knees so you don't need to go all the way down. And on an out breath, my belly follows my legs. And I come down onto a knee position. And then this way. Another pose for you that is really good for strength is boat pose. And you come from here. For me, I always start with my heels in the ground. I push my heels away so that my legs are active. Then I pull away the meat on my buttocks so that I can feel that I'm sitting on top of my sitting bones. And then again, with my hands, I let my hands upwards, the inside of my arms upwards. And then I have this feeling that my heart is looking for the sun. Inhale. And on an exhale, I slowly move back. Perfect. This is also boat. I know that normally boat would look like this, but it's quite hard to get to there. So start very slowly. Be respectful towards your own body. Have the length, tailbone under, your stomach is active. Your shoulders push away from your neck. And then you can slowly start with one leg. Stay for a couple of breaths. And then the other leg. Stay for a breath or two. And when you're ready, you will see that suddenly, okay, then I can go into boat. You can also do this, then it's more of a balancing act. But try to work into what kind of pose do I actually feel comfortable with. When I've done that, it's very much on my upper thighs. So I kind of massage them a little when I'm sitting down. Now we come to the most hated for me pose in the world because I cannot do it. It is Chaturanga. I cannot do it because I haven't got enough power in my shoulders and in my upper chest, and in my stomach I'm not strong enough. But I found a way to actually work towards it. So now I'm going to give you a few pointers as to how you can work towards it. First of all, as you know, plank is also a very good strength pose. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. First of all, you make sure that both your hands are very stable in the ground under your shoulders. And then you stretch your legs out. Perfect. Make sure that you're not banana shaped like this, but try to be so straight as you can. And then again, your heels move away. Your entire core is engaged. Your tailbone moves under. Stomach is active. If this is too much, go into your knees. You do not have to be all the way up. Make sure that your chest moves forward. Very good. In a Chaturanga, you are supposed to move over your hands so that you don't move directly down. I always thought moving directly down. But actually, when you go into Chaturanga, your upper body moves first a little bit forward in front of your hands, and then you let your arms go here. Oh. And as you can see, I can't do that because my muscles are not strong enough. So what I do is I stay there as long as I can. So I just need to move in a little bit more. Yes. Here. Again, make sure that my tailbone is tucked under. My stomach is active. I move in a little bit forward. And then I go down as far as I can. And then all the way down. And then I come into a resting pose. Here I make happy dog. My butt kind of just moves from side to side because it's quite hard on the lower body, on the lower back when you do these exercises. You can also use a chair or a step box, or if you're doing yoga outside, you can do it with something where you feel safe. Because as soon as you go all the way down, you feel the entire weight of your body. So you can do it a little bit higher. First of all, make sure your chair is safe and secure. Here. you come from plank. And slowly you move down as far as you can. And you feel your entire chest moving forward. Maybe also moving your gaze forward. Yes. And when you do it on the chair, the good thing is that the counter pose, you keep on leaning here. And then you can do it again. Step back. Over your arms. You move further forward and down. Yes. So this is the way that you can actually do some strength poses. The next pose I'm going to show you, that is half moon. Half moon is quite difficult for me because I've got a problem with my lower back. Problems with lower back has an impact on your balance. So that means that if you have lower back problems with your core muscle, that will mean that it's difficult for you to get into those poses where you have to balance. A good tip for you can be just a few times every day. Balance. It's not only good for your balancing, it's also good for your brain. Because every time that you stand on one foot, your brain engages differently, and all the muscles in your body that move towards the mid of your body. So when you're brushing your teeth, you can stand on one leg or the other. I'm going to move this on the other side now. First of all, when I move into half moon, I come from here. And then I move down, so I hold my hands here. Now I lift my left leg and put the foot parallel to the chair. Perfect. And then I move my hand away so that I have security. You can also hold on the back side of the chair. And slowly I lift my foot up. And then I lift my arm up. And then slowly I move down. I keep my heel away, pushed away. And I can now also bend, instead of standing with my hand on the chair, I can move down into, so that I actually lean onto the chair like this. And then I can later move all the way away from the chair and work on this part. Oops. Here you can also put under a block or maybe a little pillow that gives you just a rise, so it doesn't seem so difficult. So, and like this. Then you have about 10 centimeters here from the floor. And then you do it on the other side. You don't have to lean down. You can also grab hold of something, a wall. Yes, perfect. These power poses can help you gain control of your core muscles again. And it's quite hard. Right now I'm quite warm because when you do something that has this effect on you, it's not something that you do every day, and if you can, you shy away from it. It does not only engage your physical body, it also engages your mental body. And sometimes it's quite nice to be doing these whoosh kind of things. I hope that you could use my tips into a little bit of strength yoga. Yeah, have a nice day. Namaste.